We just had a PowerPoint on problem and solution. What's the challenge? How are we going to solve it? Now we are going to practice that with a read aloud story of an author that you are already familiar with. Let's see what the book is. You might recognize, remember Julian, right? This is Lily's purple plastic purse. Excuse me. And you should also have your paper, and we're going to fill it out together as we go. Okay? So the first couple questions are, what are the two main characters of the story? And who are the other characters of the story? So be thinking of that in your head. And we are going to have a problem. I love school. Lily loved school. Oh, her friends are chasing after her. Wait for us, because she wants to hurry up and get there. Okay. I'll zoom in and out so the pages are a little bit bigger. She loved the pointy pencils. She loved the squeaky chalk. And she loved the way her boots went clickety, clickety, click down the long, shiny hallways. No running. Lily loved the privacy of her very own desk. She loved the fish sticks and chocolate milk every Friday in the lunchroom. Straws make everything taste better. And most of all, she loved her teacher, Mr. Slinger. For you, she's bringing him a flower. Mr. Slinger was as sharp as a tack. He wore artistic shirts, he wore glasses on a chain around his neck, and he wore a different colored tie for each day of the week. Wow, said Lily. That was just about all she could say. Wow. The boss is in. Listen up. Instead of greetings, students, or good morning, pupils, Mr. Slinger winked and said, howdy. He thought that desks and rows were old-fashioned and boring. You think rodents? Do you rodents think you can handle a semicircle? It's a half circle. And he always provided the most tasty snacks, things that were curly and crunchy and cheesy. I want to be a teacher when I grow up, said Lily. Me too, said her friends, Chester, Wilson, and Victor. I always wanted to be a teacher when I grew up. Always. My mom was a kindergarten teacher. At home, Lily pretended to be Mr. Slinger. I'm the teacher, she told her baby brother, Julius. Remember? Listen up. Lily even wanted her own set of deluxe picture encyclopedias. Did you ever play teacher? Teachers know everything. What's with Lily? Asked her mother. I thought she wanted to be a surgeon or an ambulance driver or a diva, said her father. It must be because of her new teacher, Mr. Slinger, said her mother. Wow, said her father. That was all he could say, just about all he could say. Wow. The Light Bulb Lab, where great ideas are born. Whenever the students had free time, they were permitted to go to the Light Bulb Lab in the back of the classroom. They expressed their ideas creatively through drawing and writing. Lily went often. She had a lot of ideas. She drew pictures of Mr. Slinger, and she wrote stories about him too. During sharing time, Lily showed her creations to the entire class. Wow, said Mr. Slinger. That's just about all he could say. Wow. Big, friendly, Mr. Nice Man teacher. By me, Lily. And at the very last second, Mr. Slinger slaved the cold, starving elderly. When Mr. Slinger had bus duty, Lily stood in line even though she didn't ride the bus. Lily raised her hand more than anyone else in the class, even if she didn't know the answer. Call on me, please, please. There's always somebody who's got their hand in the air. And she volunteered to stay after school to cap erasers. Long time ago, when they had blackboards, they'd write on the board with chalk, and you had to clap the erasers to get the dust out. I want to be a teacher when I grow up, said Lily. Excellent choice, said Mr. Slinger. One Monday morning, Lily came to school especially happy. She had gone shopping with her Grammy over the weekend. Lily had a new pair of movie star sunglasses, complete with glittering diamonds, and a chain like Mr. Slinger's. She had 3 shiny quarters. And best of all, she had a brand new purple plastic purse that played a jaunty tune when it was opened. So it would play music when it was open. See all the music notes? Uh-oh, I can already kind of see a problem coming. How about you? Lily wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Listen to our story. Lily had a hard time listening. Lily really wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Let's be considerate of our classmates. Lily had a hard time being considerate. Lily really wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Wait until recess or sharing time. But Lily could not wait. Her friend, she's in trouble. Oh, what happens when she opens it? Uh-oh. Quarters were so shiny, and the purse had such nice music, not to mention how excellent it was for storing school supplies. Look, Lily whispered fiercely. Look, everyone, look what I've got. Everyone looked, including Mr. Slinger. He was not amused. I'll just keep your things at my desk until the end of the day, said Mr. Slinger. They'll be safe there, and then you can take them home. Lily's stomach lurched. She felt like crying. Her glasses were gone. Her quarters were gone. Her purple plastic purse was gone. Lily longed for her purse all morning. She was even too sad to eat the snack Mr. Slinger served before recess. Oh. How are we going to fix this? That afternoon, Lily went to the light bulb lab. She was still very sad, and she thought and she thought and she thought, and then she became angry. She thought and she thought and she thought some more. And then she became furious. And she thought and she thought and she thought a bit longer. And then she drew a picture of Mr. Slinger. Look at that face. You think it's a nice picture? Uh-oh. Right before the last bell rang, Lily sneaked the drawing into Mr. Slinger's bag. No. That's not a good way to solve that problem there, girly girl. When the students were buttoned and zipped and snapped and tied and ready to go home, Mr. Slinger strolled over to Lily and gave her purple plastic purse back. It's a beautiful purse, said Mr. Slinger. Your quarters are nice and jingly, and those glasses are absolutely fabulous. You may bring them back to school as long as you don't disturb the rest of the class. I do not want to be a teacher when I grow up, said Lily as she marched out of the classroom. Now she's just kind of being a brat, right? On the way home, Lily opened up her purse. Her glasses and quarters were inside, and so was a note from Mr. Slinger. It said, "Today was a difficult day. Tomorrow will be better." There was also a small bag of tasty snacks at the bottom of the purse. How do you think she feels now? Probably a little guilty, I would think. Lily's stomach lurched. She felt like crying. She felt simply awful. Lily ran all the way home and told her mother and father everything. So when you make a mistake, you have to just own it and deal with it and move on. Instead of watching her favorite cartoons, Lily decided to sit in the uncooperative chair. I'll stay here a million years for Mr. Slinger. Why does everything always happen to me? You did it to yourself, girl. 1051, 1052, 1099. That night, Lily drew a new picture of Mr. Slinger and wrote a story about him, too. Listen up, I forgive everyone. Kind, good, nice. Could be principal. Lily was really, really sorry, so everyone forgave her, even her parents, even her stinky baby brother, even her especially incredible teacher. And then the sun shined its smiley face down on everyone and everything, even the bugs and worms. The end. So she's trying to apologize for her mistake. Oops. Lily's mother and father wrote a note. Lily's mother wrote a note, and Lily's father baked some tasty snacks for Lily to take to school the next day. I think Mr. Slinger will understand, said Lily's mother. I know he will, said Lily's father. You apologize? You know what you did is wrong? The next morning, Lily got to school early. These are for you, Lily said to Mr. Slinger, because I'm really, 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 really sorry. Mr. Slinger read the story, and he looked at the picture. He liked the story. And he read the note. And he sampled the snacks. Wow, said Mr. Slinger. That was just about all he could say. Wow. What do you think? Think he's going to forgive her? What do you think we should do with this? Asked Mr. Slinger. Could we just throw it away? Asked Lily. Excellent idea. That's the mean picture. During sharing time, Lily demonstrated the many uses and unique qualities of her purple plastic purse, her shiny quarters, and her glittery movie star glasses. It's like having an extra pocket with a radio inside. 3 quarters are even better than $1 because they make noise. How much is 3 quarters worth? 75 cents. 25, 50, 75. Glamorous protection from harmful rays. Then she did a little performance using them as props. It's called interperceptive dance, said Lily. Mr. Slinger joined in. Wow, said the entire class. That was just about all they could say. Wow. Isn't it funny when teachers dance? We are not good dancers, but we still will dance. Throughout the rest of the day, Lily's purse and quarters and sunglasses were tucked safely inside of her desk. She peeked at them often, but did not disturb a soul. So she just kept looking at them just to see it makes them feel good. Right before the last bell rang, Mr. Slinger served Lily snacks to everyone's delight. What do you want to be when you grow up? Asked Mr. Slinger. A teacher, everyone responded. Lily's response was the loudest. Excellent choice, said Mr. Slinger. Anybody want to be a teacher when they grow up? As the pupils filed out of the classroom, Lily held her purple plastic purse close to her heart. Mr. Slinger was right. It had been a better day. Purple plastic purse. It's alliteration. Remember, all the words have the same beginning sound? Like a tongue twister. Lily ran and skipped and hopped and flew all the way home. She was so happy. And she really did want to be a teacher when she grew up. That is, when she didn't want to be a dancer or a surgeon or an ambulance driver or a diva or a pilot or a hairdresser or a scuba diver. You don't need to know what you want to be right when you grow up. Right now, you guys are young, have fun, go outside and play. Okay, so we read Lily's purple plastic purse and we came across a big problem, didn't we? And we also came across a solution. So let's go ahead because you're going to have a discussion post for the last question here. So let's work on this together. This is kind of like a character study. When we examine our characters. So who are the 2 main characters of the story? You know. Usually we would write in complete sentences, but these lines are kind of small. So we'll just write a couple, the answers. Lily, Mr. Slinger are our 2 main characters. Who are some other characters? Her mom. Ow, up my knee. Her dad. the students? There's also her Grammy, her friends. What was Lily's problem? Did she follow directions? She did not. Follow Mr. Slinger's directions. Now that's a complete sentence, so I'm going to put a period there. Okay. How does Lily feel when she got in trouble? She had a couple of feelings, right? She at first was sad, and then she got what? Furious, remember? Sad, then furious. So she changed a little bit. Super angry. How does Lily feel after she read the note from Mr. Slinger? Remember the nice note that he left her in her purse about tomorrow will be better? How does she feel? She felt bad. She felt guilty. Maybe ashamed. I think ashamed would probably be the best way to say it. She was ashamed of her actions because Mr. Slinger still, even though she didn't follow the directions, he still was being kind to her. Okay, so now we've got our problem. She didn't follow directions. What did she do to fix it? How did she fix her problem? She wrote a nice note, right? She apologized. And what did she do with her things? She still brought him to school, but she kept him in her desk. She followed his directions. And kept her things in her desk. That's also a complete sentence, so it's getting a period. And where does this story take place? What's the setting of the story? It has two settings, but it's mostly at school. Uh-oh, what happened to my pen? School. And also, some of it was at Lily's house, but mostly at school. Now, what you're going to do next is you are going to finish the last question. What can you learn from the story? That's the theme, the lesson, the moral, okay? You are going to write it in a complete sentence. Even if you don't write it on the paper, your discussion post needs to have it in a complete sentence. Capitals, ending marks, and have it make sense. I learned blah, 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 blah. Or the theme is blah, 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 okay? A complete sentence. And we're going to continue on with our problem and solution all week. I enjoyed that story. I hope you did too. Discussion post in a complete sentence.